In my studies of biology, genetics, organic chemistry, microbiology, and biochemistry, I was amazed to learn that not only is the smallest expression of a physical trait of an organism encapsulated in an infinitesimal gene, but more astoundingly, that the purpose of every other part of that organism was to aid in the proliferation of that gene. Meaning that from a purely biological standpoint, the purpose of our grandiose complexity and ingenuity derives from and for the need to protect these unconscious replicating strands of DNA so that they may survive and duplicate. I found this to be both quite reductionary in the plight of man's ego, but at the same time, I could see how this might actually be the case. Our affinity to protect and prioritize family is perhaps an innate conducive manifestation for gene survival, as our families carry many of the genes that make us who we are. Despite being cognizant of such a diminishing biological possibility, I am not cynical, rather much more practical in my understanding of social behavior, and more than anything, it humbles me to realize how much I do not know about my origins and my purpose. When later on in my medical studies I stumbled across the fact that the genetic overlap of our DNA with certain animals was 99%, I was thrown into a spiral of bewilderment about my, quote, superiority and dominance over all other life forms on this planet. And even more terrifying, I pondered if a 1% difference in gene expression could result in the global dominance of man, what could another 1% shift accomplish? I am uplifted by the hereditary possibilities that are untapped within me, but at the same time, I am frustrated that I have not yet been able to figure out how to access them within the remaining time I have. A lineage of 10,000 generations of forefathers and foremothers' genes have survived to produce the most modern-day version of themselves through their expression of me. And while I do not know if I will continue to keep this lineage in humanity's gene pool, as it may just end with me, nevertheless, I can find appreciation and joy in all that is unknown in what it took for me to have been created in the first place.